So, hello everyone, and welcome to the fourth episode of the Football Sideline. My name is Hydra, and for today, our guest is Logan Phipps. So, Logan, tell us a little about yourself.
All right, so I'm 19 years old. I live in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm from Florida. I've lived here my whole life. I actually grew up in South Florida, but yeah, now I'm up in Jacksonville playing UPSL and trying to play at the next level soon, most likely playing abroad or something like that. So
Okay, so right now you're playing the UPSL, is that right?
yeah, so that's fourth division in US.
Okay,
I mean,
so
be pro technically.
so above that is USL 2, I
So
think.
so USL 2 is like same level as UPSL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's more official, I guess. But so yeah, it's UPSL, USL 2, NPSL, all fourth league,
What
and then
what's NISL? Is that below it?
NISA.
I think so, yeah, I think so.
NISA is the third division also. If you think if we're thinking
Oh,
about, but yeah, NISA is weird, bro. NISA is very it's very strange because there's like an independent league. They don't get a lot of money. They've had trouble like paying players and stuff like that. So I don't think Nice is actually gonna stay that long
damn.
pro league.
Okay, that's interesting. So, and then after, I think it's the USL Championship.
Yeah, championship. There used to be an ASL, but they went bankrupt.
And then,
That's the championship, and then MLS.
damn, that's good. So, uh, so you do live in the US, you live in Florida,
Yeah.
and you did talk about this a little bit on your videos on TikTok. So tell me a little bit about your experience with the pay-to-play system in the US.
All right, so I'll just start back from when I guess I started to pay to play. Um, Thankfully, most of my life, my parents have been able to pay. We're not rich or anything, but they make enough money to where they could pay for it. But um, it's just crazy. It's just crazy to me that a 13-year-old kid or even like a 10, 9, 8-year-old kid who's playing for fun at the time has to pay like $3,000 just for a travel team who's not even like you're not even um, traveling like across the country. So it just doesn't make sense why you pay $3,000 per player just to play when in reality, like there's just so many empty fees that you're not actually getting anything out of. For example, um, a player's fee where you're just paying like $800 for no reason. You're not getting anything for it. Like you're not getting kits or traveling or meals or anything like that. You're basically just paying um, empty money to the club just so they get more money and can grow. So I think they could definitely find a way. I'm not saying to make it free because that's not very um, it's not very feasible, but they could definitely make it from 3,000 to maybe 900 to $800, especially at a young age. I kind of went off on a tangent there, but yeah, my experience with pay to play is I've known like a lot of kids who even maybe better than me who couldn't play because just they couldn't afford it. So I think it's a big problem that I need to look into.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with you. Like, just like you, my parents were pretty comfortable in money, so that wasn't a super huge problem for us. But I could definitely see how like the US system can definitely pass on some talents that couldn't really afford to deal with the pay-to-play system. So from there, so do are MLS academies totally free, or how does that work?
See, this is what I always see in TikTok. People get MLS Next and MLS Academies confused, and they use them hand in hand when they play in the same league, but they are totally different ballparks. MLS Academies like they'll play and do everything at these nice facilities. They'll play for free. They live there, get they get meals. They train together, live together, all that. But MLS Next, if you're not in an MLS Academy, you're still paying $3,000 to $5,000 to play. and it's basically just a travel team, a glorified travel team. Which yes, you're basically paying to play against these better teams, but in reality, all that really matters is your training environment. And there are training environments at NPL teams, which is lower league, that is probably better than MLS Next. I'm not saying that's the case for everywhere, but it's really just glorified travel. Because I played DA, which is MLS Next now, and yeah, if you're not playing in an MLS academy, it's not free. So it just makes no sense why they also think they brag they're playing MLS Next when they're paying more than the rest.
Wow. Yeah, I definitely didn't know that. So what you said is that MLS Next is like totally different from the MLS academies and how they do their stuff.
Yeah, so they play against each other, but the way they're run is totally different because MLS Academy, you actually have something to go into, a senior team, where some of these MLS Next academies do, but they're not going to be the same level, or some of them might have USL Championship, but that's also going its own way now. So yeah, most MLS Next, there's no senior team. You're basically you're going to college basically. So it's not really a clear route to pro. So the whole MLS Next title does not make sense to me.
Okay, yeah, that's a fair point. So from that, do you think it's better for players to play in college or go abroad or university?
All right, so my view on this has changed a lot over the past few years, and I think Matt Sheldon, who became elite, he said it the best. Where if you want to go pro and you need these 4 years to develop strength wise, speed wise, and just speed of play, I would say college, maybe for minutes a couple of years, is definitely a good route to take. But if you think you can compete, even just be a training player in a pro team, then I would definitely, or even semi-pro, I would definitely personally want to go abroad because what I always think about is in these other countries, you have 16, 17, 18-year-olds in a pro environment. And here you have 18-year-olds playing in one age group, which is college, until they're coming out 23, 24, playing the same age group for 4 years. So if you think about that 16-year-old who's in France, who's in a pro team, and he's coming out when he's 23, that's 7 years of a pro environment, pro training, pro games that he's getting in. And when you just look at it like that, that's where you really see the difference between other countries and us, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And I want to bring something to that is that really shows like how important development is as at a young age, and especially for something like soccer or football, whatever you want to call it, where the window to make it pro, I think, is so tight, where you need that level of competitiveness and intensive like team training and individual training at a really young age, so then you can build on from that.
Yeah, and it's a culture thing too.
Yeah, for sure.
At a young age, it's more about having fun, and which I get, which I think you do need to have fun, but also there comes a time and place where these kids these kids are a different breed in other countries at that age.
Yeah.
And they're playing U23, some of them the best ones, but obviously that's a whole other case. But yeah, just overall, it's totally different in other countries.
Yeah.
Culture.
Yeah, and like you said, the culture, like these kids grew up basically playing in the streets for free with all their friends, and that's already pretty like competitive level of play. And then we have to pay in order to play in these teams that may not even be as good as the people that play on the streets. And I think one reason for that is just like the popularity wasn't there in the last like 10 years or 20 years. And I don't really blame like the US soccer system, but that's just how it was.
Yeah. And
yeah.
There's just the thing is with the US is there's so many other sports that are, and our best athletes most of the time don't even play soccer. They play football, basketball.
Yeah.
That's just what's popular. So yeah, but it's definitely on though, I think, but we're still not there yet.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I think like with the talent coming in now, and then we make it to the World Cup this year, I mean, next year, and then we play. And if we go far, I think that is going to have a huge impact on the culture of soccer and the US.
I mean, if we don't make the World Cup, I think I'll be in tears.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, same for Canada.
I think we played Canada today. Not we didn't bring our best team, but I didn't see this end final score. I know it was 1-0 after halftime.
Oh, I didn't even know about that. Yeah, I'll
Oh,
have
yeah,
to check in after. So yeah, another point I wanted to bring across, which you said Matt Sheldon did say, is that if you think you need those development years, it's a good idea to play the university level, and then from there you can see where you go. And
yeah,
I see like a lot of these kids, well, especially on TikTok, where they think like right after 18 they have to go to Europe and not play in university, and they think that going to Europe is going to be better for them and easier. Meanwhile, you can't even make it in the US.
yeah, yeah. I also saw Christo say that
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Crystal was one of the
Um,
people that said that.
and yeah, I think especially if you don't know the language, I think
Yeah,
that's to overcome. Um, but yeah, I think you have to be realistic. That's the biggest thing is being realistic with yourself and setting realistic goals. Because if you're not starting in your team here, or you're not the best player on your team here, are you going to come in and compete with these guys over there? Probably not. Um, but yeah, so if you think that's the biggest thing is being realistic with yourself.
yeah,
End of the day is like you're only it's your career. So if you're just lying to yourself and you really think you can make it over there when these guys are probably putting in more hours than you, working harder than you on your own team, then when you get over there you're gonna be awakened, bro. So yeah.
yeah. And just to touch on that a little bit more, like if you have the money for it and you really want to go to Europe, I would say like, go for it if you really want to, because at the end of the day, the experience is good, but it's just the chances of being pro declines, I think, as you go into Europe.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
also
so yeah.
here you go ahead.
No, you can go ahead, it's fine.
All right. So also in Europe, at least for me personally, because I don't have any European parents or whatever, getting a visa in Europe is
That's a good
like
point.
very tough.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you're already in, that's why also it's a big deal to try to live in your own market first,
yeah,
because being over there, one, not knowing the language, and then trying to get a visa on your own, it's just really tough if you don't have any parents or um,
yeah.
grandparents from there.
So talking from the tough part of the game, how important do you think the mental side is in a sport like soccer or football?
I think I've actually this year I've really experienced it firsthand. I think it's the most important um, because once you get to a certain level, in my opinion, um, like games are decided on like 5-second moments, like switching off on a corner or who's confident enough to take a man on and cross the ball into the box. I think it's the biggest part, especially when it's so competitive and so tight that sometimes it's just about confidence and who's willing to do something or what it takes to win. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's the most important.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I can agree with you to that. Like you can be a great player in training when you're doing your individual training, and then when you go onto the field, you can be like the worst player there. Like you can't even pass the ball, you can't even shoot, you can't even take players on. And I've actually experienced this when I went to a new team and I didn't really know anyone there and it was really far from where I lived.
Yeah,
So then I was just really uncomfortable and I didn't really have the confidence to play at that level yet. So it just dropped me all the way down. So yeah, I can definitely agree that it's the most important part of the game.
yeah. If you're, this was also with me because I was like really first few games this UPSL season. We're playing against men, and my team is mainly like young guys like me, 17, 18, 19. And I was not confident, and I was not playing like myself. Um, and I and for me it was like a mental thing. It was like a mental switch. Like um, I literally do this every day. I train for this. Why am I not doing what I work on in my training? Like I would
Yeah.
just I would just be doing like stuff I've never done before. Like I time on the ball, play long ball because I'm scared of losing the ball in the back. it was just mental things, like, because there's also a lot of people at the game. You got friends out there watching you, maybe a girlfriend in the crowd. Yeah, it's all mental.
Yeah,
You just gotta get in the right space.
yeah. And about that, like, I think the mental part is the only thing that you can actually kind of fix overnight, which is like you said, like it's like a switch. Like if you bring that confidence and then all of a sudden you're playing like you're the best out there.
Yeah. And for me, this is different for everyone, but for me, I was also taking it like too serious. Like for me, I have to like have fun when I play. I like to enjoy it, and I was just being too serious. Like before the game, I was like thinking, what happens if we lose? What happens if I have a bad game? I did have someone in the crowd there. I was like, what happens if I play bad? And she she knows I played bad. Yeah, I was just like, I just gotta have fun and not really care, what happens otherwise. So
Yeah, for sure. Going for the more saying like the mental side is the most important part of the game. Going on like more technical term, what do you think the most important part of the game is, but on like the technical side? It's like first touch, passing, dribbling.
yeah, you already said it. I think first touch. Because if your first touch is gone, you can't dribble, you can't pass.
Yeah, yeah, that's a
So
great point.
first touch is everything. I'm pretty sure most people could agree with me on that. Um, Especially as a defender, if you're coming up against an attacker who doesn't have a good first touch, you have an easy day. The office.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, it's
Yeah,
just I would say that. And actually, no, yeah, first touch for sure.
yeah, for sure. So I did get a couple of questions that I'd like you to answer, and I can answer too if you want.
All right.
From my community, which is the first one is, how do you set up your individual training sessions?
So for me, I like to do things that I need to work on myself. Like most of the time, first 10, 15 minutes will just be like a general technical thing. And then other than that, like 30, 40 minutes, I'll just work on stuff I want to work on. So for me, as a center back, I work on some days it'll be long balls, driven balls. But a lot of times it's just one-on-one defending, just getting in like as many reps as you can in something game specific. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to work on shooting when I need reps in one-on-one. So for me, it's just whatever I need to work on. And a lot of times stuff, if I have a game on Saturday, I come out on a Sunday or Monday and work on stuff I felt like I didn't do well. Not do well. So that's me personally.
Yeah, I do kind of agree with you on that. I think it's also position specific. Like you said, if you're a defender, you probably won't be practicing your finishing or your shooting a lot. It'll still have to be practiced like here and there because you need to like have the basic knowledge of it.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be of importance. And I also think it depends like what time of the season you're talking about. Because if you're in preseason, you probably won't be doing as much like very intense stuff and like heavy lifting or whatever you're doing compared to off season where you're really just trying to keep that technical up, get faster, more explosive, maybe even bigger as an athlete. So I think when you're asking this question and what position you play really has an effect on the individual training.
Yeah. And so, but for me, like we've had a really long season. So most of the time it's just been like maintaining and focusing on stuff that's going to help me in the games. But yeah, just another thing is in the off season for me, I focus on like quantity over quality because I just try to get in as many hours as I can, like out on the pitch. Some people might disagree, but I think just a lot of times we just play for like 2 or 3 hours. And I think that's just the best way to improve, just to play.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Even if it's just one-on-ones, 2v2s, 3v3, if you don't have a lot of people that will come out to play, I think just playing the best way to.
And I think for me, that's one of the main parts of my improvement where I think my technical is good, but when it comes like when you add more people in it, it actually becomes a team. That's where my technical knowledge fails me. So yeah, I do think playing with other people, like pick up scrimmages, is in a very good way to improve as a player. And if I can add on to that, when I say that, there doesn't need to be like a level of intensity when you do scrimmages and stuff. Like if you go out and you play with like little kids in the park for like 2 to 3 hours, I don't think you're gonna see the same results as if you just like individually train for like 2 in the same hours. But if it's actually intense and competitive and you're challenging yourself, or maybe even playing out of your position, I think it can be really beneficial to the player.
Especially it helps if you find players that are better or older than you.
Yeah.
Really get the most out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, because I think you should always play with like people that are better than you, because that's the better they are, the faster you're gonna make progress, in my opinion.
Yeah. And for some people it's tough, which is why a lot of people move to MLS Next clubs or these clubs like that, is sometimes you just get to the point in training where, not because you're like cocky or anything, but sometimes the level is just in training just not there. And so you have to move or whatever. So
Yeah, for sure.
And when you're not being challenged, then you really don't get anything out of it. You just,
yeah. So the next question was, how can I get faster as a player? So yeah, I'll let you answer that one first.
So just faster in general, like with the ball, or just?
It just is faster, but let's just say like speed wise, like running wise.
I would say for me, you probably have your own opinion. For me, like the most beneficial just sprinting exercise would be like hill sprints. Hill sprints, get on a treadmill or just go out and find a hill. Just sprinting on an incline or any resistance really is my way.
For me, I would say, yeah, for sure. I think you basically got the right answer when you said resistance. I think adding resistance to it and also doing normal sprints is good too. The question was kind of about like getting fast, like what kind of fast are you talking about? Like, is it agility or just running with the ball, running without the ball? But the main way to get more explosive and just add on speed or even vertical in your jump would be weightlifting and plyometrics. Though if you combine those two things properly with a good amount of sprints, like you said, even without resistance, I think you can really get more explosive, more agile. And yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, especially if you know what you're doing in the weight room. That's what really, a lot of people just don't know. Like, they'll go in and they're just doing bodybuilding instead of athletic movements. So that's a big thing too.
Yeah, I should like talk about that even more. Bodybuilding in the gym. Now, I don't think players should be doing bodybuilding in the gym. But if you are doing all the other components of your training, I would agree that it's not the worst thing for yourself to take the extra time to go bodybuilding if like that's a passion of yours.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't hurt to look good, but it does hurt when you're heavy and you can't run.
Like, there's definitely a limit to it. Like, you're not gonna go for like Mr. Olympia or look like Arnold when you want to try to be a bodybuilder, because then you just can't play. But you can definitely look good and play soccer at a high level, in my opinion.
Yeah, I always find it so interesting. Like these players like Adama Traore, and how they're so big, but they're just so quick.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Like today, I played in this adult league with this. It's basically Sunday league, but they're like these Mexican guys, and they're actually quite good. And today, they had this really tall African American guy, and he was massive, like, but he was so quick. So I always find it interesting, like how some players can just be so
they're both big and quick.
Yeah, so I think it's just a genetic thing, but
yeah, for sure. I do agree with you on that. Let's see what the next question is. How do I improve my tactical side of the game? Yeah, you can answer that one first if you want.
All right, I think we're gonna have the same answer or a similar answer. I think just watch games.
Yeah.
Watching someone in your position, for me, would be like Laporte or Kimpembe, someone like that. Just watch how they move. Don't just follow the ball around. Really, even when they don't have the ball, watch how they drop off 10 yards to get a pass or step to defend or communicate. But yeah, that's my answer. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, you got the right answer again. I do think that's a good way to improve your tactical side of the game. But also, as we mentioned before, just playing games, just playing scrimmage, just getting that experience and at a high level, if you can, it's still good with friends. But the more intense and challenging, the better it is going to be for you.
Yeah, and also if you can, have your games recorded to watch yourself.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a good one. I forgot. Yeah,
the big one.
Yeah.
Because for me this season, something that like was really holding me back, was something that I found in film was just when a through ball is about to be played for me as a center back, it's just one tiny detail. Instead of being like straight on with the ball, just slightly turn the hips so you're ready to run, and that will literally stop a goal from happening. So it's just the tiniest things, the details that you'd see in film that you don't really think about when you're playing. So it's big to improve.
Actually, for me, it's kind of funny. One of the main things that I took away from, so yeah, I played in a winter league, and then one of the main things that I took away from this was that when I play as a fullback usually now, and when I did a throw in, that my left shoulder was more placed to the left like this, so the ball wouldn't go as far, and then I kept practicing on it, and it actually made a huge difference. So yeah, it's a very good advice to watch your own game. What?
Long throw on you?
What?
Said you got a long throw?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely working on it. And then I have to learn the flip, and then I have to do the flip and then throw it in the box.
So crazy, bro.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever be able to do that.
I never see guys doing it. I only see girls.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I don't even see girls doing it like in real life. It's just always video. Yeah. I have to see it in real life.
But if you do it one time, bro, that's instant. That's instantly going viral.
But then if you fail, it's going viral for all the wrong reasons.
Viral. Bro.
It's kind of a win-win.
All right, bro. I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
All right, so every time I talk about Harry Maguire, right? I talk about Harry Maguire all the time. And these people think I'm joking. But I'm not joking. I genuinely think, I want your opinion on this. I genuinely think Harry Maguire is top, I don't want to get hated for this, top 3 center backs in the Prem. What are your thoughts on that?
Listen, in the Prem, do we count his performance in the Euros?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Okay. As much as I don't like Manchester United that much, I can see where you make a point, because in Euros he was good. Like I started making fun of him, like being sarcastic, and then it's like, wow, this guy's actually putting on a show. Yeah, man. Like I always joke about like how I always joke about it, but I'm like, I'm being serious. Yeah. Because if you like, I've actually watched him play since he came, and he's only had, I'd say, maybe 1 or 2 bad games. But when he has those bad games, it's all over the Instagram. Yeah. And he's a meme. He's a meme because of it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what you have to expect. If you're playing bad, even one game, you are gonna go viral and get made fun of for. But that's just what you have to expect if you're playing at that level. I just hate how hated he is, bro. Yeah. My favorite player. But yeah, that's random. I think it's reasonable to say that he could be top 3 in the Prem. Yeah, I mean, Van Dijk, Maguire. I mean, Van Dijk, like, he might come back as like even worse, become the worst defender in the Prem. Like, we never know. But if we count his last season as how good he is, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, so Van Dijk, Ruben Diaz, Harry Maguire. It's done.
Yeah,
You heard it here.
yeah. I'll definitely have to post it on TikTok.
I'll get comments.
And then we have the next question. How can I go pro at 16? I feel like I'm running out of time. Yeah, you can go first if you want.
All right. I think you are just beginning.
Yeah, same.
I think you're nowhere near the player that you're going to be at 18, at 16.
Yeah.
Like, and I was probably unrecognizable as a player. Just probably if I looked back and watched some film, I'd probably be disgusted. But yeah, so I'm not worried if I were you as a 16-year-old. Just work hard. Really, really try to use your time wisely, because before you know it, you'll be 20 years old. So just really try to every day train, go to the gym, whatever you need to do. Just make sure you're using your time wisely at 16.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I can add on to that is have fun too, because like you said, time flies really fast. So definitely try to have fun. And yeah, like you're really young. You really shouldn't be worried about like if there's a time limit on when you can make it pro. I've seen this guy on TikTok, Sohail. I'm not sure his age. I think he's like 22, 24.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so for that 16-year-old, that's basically 8 years. You still have 8 years in front of you to make it pro. And you can still go on from that age, like 25, 26, 27. So I wouldn't say put extra anxiety for yourself just because you're worried that you're not going to make it pro at that age. You're just getting started.
Yeah. And even Spencer Moeller, he went pro at 28.
Oh, yeah.
Really rare. Don't get me wrong. It's really rare. But age isn't really as important as most people think.
Yeah. And it's like a huge thing. It's a huge fallacy that if you're 18 and you're not making it pro, just give up, stop playing.
Yeah, I think the only reason why most people do is just a financial thing, because it is hard when you're trying to go to another country if you don't have anything paid for, you got to pay for a flight.
Yeah.
If you can get some income, however you do it, I think you can definitely go pro even late to mid 20s. So
yeah. And I've talked about this before. Even if I don't make it pro, which I do think I'm gonna make it just because I have the confidence in me. Even if I don't, I think I'll still be playing or I'll still be involved in something because I just love the sport so much. Like I'll either be coaching a team, even playing like Sunday pickup league or just semi-pro level, even though like 30 and stuff. So I think I'll definitely still be involved in the game for the rest of my life.
Yeah. God forbid I get injured.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think you want to have the right balance between working hard and then putting too much pressure on yourself.
Oh yeah.
16, yeah. And I think I was playing too much Fortnite to even be worried about that. Which is mistake, but
yeah. I think we have one more question, and then I have a last question for you if you have the time. You have like 15 minutes left.
Yeah, I'm good on time. We're good.
Okay. Give me a second. So the last question is, how can I get a better first touch? I think I'll just go answer that. It's just go out there, shoot the ball up, bring it down, try to control it, shoot it against the wall, take it, just try to control it with both feet, just play around with the ball. And yeah, I think that's the most basic form of answer I can give you.
I'm sorry, man. I just love these questions.
Yeah.
Like, how do the best one, man, is how do I improve my weak foots? I'm sorry. You it doesn't matter what it is. How do I get better at shooting, defending?
Yeah, it's just the reps. Just get in the reps.
Just have to do it.
You just have to go through it.
There's not a shortcut. There's not a drill that's gonna get your first touch like Messi's.
Yeah, and I always see these YouTube videos. Is like, do this one drill to have a 5-star weak foot. Do this one drill to have the perfect first touch.
I saw this on my For You page. There's this drill called the Conte drill, and this man is just running around, just running around these set of cones like, oh man. Some of these people, bro, they really put a bad rep for me when I saw them.
And to be fair, if I go back to my younger self, I did kind of ask these questions. It's always good to learn, and like, don't be afraid to ask any questions. But these ones are just kind of rhetorical. Like, you can just answer them yourself. Just don't overthink it.
No, yeah, I definitely see why they ask it. It's like the first time asking, but it's just like from our standpoint, when that's like the only question is how do I, when I get 5 DMs a day asking how to improve your weak foot. I think people do it on purpose at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
How to improve your weak foot.
And also, I think as a soccer player, most of your individual training should be covering the basics. Like, you don't have to do all these complex drills. Like, even if you find a wall, a cone, and like a ball, you can have the perfect training session.
Yeah, and especially if you look at it, like, most people aren't even doing the basics.
Yeah.
So you can say 30 minutes a day, and you get in 500 juggles, 501 touch, 502 touch passing. That's already like a lot more than most people are doing every day.
Yeah.
And then if you do it for an hour or even 2 hours, and that adds up. That really does.
Now with that, I do think you should have progressive overload in your training. So maybe like make it more challenging, make it quicker, just change up the drills, and always keep it as intense as you can. But that's just like the next step.
Yeah.
For players.
You always, this is really what's helped me is trying to train with as much intensity as you can.
Yeah.
Because if you're lazy in your training, you're gonna be lazy in a game. So
that's true. And the last question that I have is, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years, wow.
10 years.
Wow, I thought you were gonna say 5.
We'll do 5. We'll do 5. If it's more accurate answer.
All right, we'll do 5, and then I'll try to do 10.
All
5. Right. So I'll be 24. Wow. Hopefully I'm still playing. As long as I don't happens to me. Hopefully I'm playing. Hopefully I'm back in the US. That would be a goal of mine. Because I'm probably gonna be going abroad soon. Something. I have an opportunity in another country.
That's good.
Not set in stone yet, so I'm not gonna say anything. Some people already know. I'll tell you after. But
that's fine. Yeah. If you want, you can keep it a secret.
Yeah. I'm gonna play out abroad for a season or 2, and then my goal is to be back in the US, like USL League One, league championship. If that happens, just hopefully playing in the US and having a coaching business, either private training or even just coaching academy sides.
Yeah,
it's my passion. So hopefully playing and coaching. That's pretty basic, but that's what I like to do.
I mean, that's basically like 90% of all players. I mean, it's not a bad thing. Like, you love the game, you want to keep playing, you just want to keep being involved in it. And I think for me, it's the same. Now, is your end goal like MLS, or just as far as you can get in the ranks?
So as high as possible.
Okay.
But yeah, also you got to be realistic, and like I'd be still pretty young. And in the US, a lot of times you just gotta work your way up. So, and that's anywhere. If I could get to a higher level outside of the US, then I'd probably take that. Probably just wherever is the highest level possible I could play. But living somewhere where I knew the language would also be nice.
So I haven't answered this on my podcast, even though I asked like every single guest I had. So for me, I think it's gonna be like you, just playing, staying involved in the game, going as high as I can in every level. I think so. I'm going to university, so I do think I'm gonna be in Canada, and my goal in the 4 years is to get scouted to play in the Canadian Premier League, which is the only pro league in Canada except MLS. Yeah, and hopefully I'll still have the same motivation and drive. What I'm
Yeah.
curious is, so the only reason I'm playing soccer is because, or football, is because that's what makes me happy. That's what makes me the happiest. Like even if I had like $1 billion, the only thing I would do for the rest of my life is just keep playing soccer and keep training.
Yeah.
So what I'm interested in is, what if like one day out of nowhere I'm like, all right, fuck this. I'll just try to become a programmer or a coder, or I don't know. I want to
Yeah.
build surfboards in Cuba. Like I'm kind of interested to see where life takes me, and if I get demotivated and I just want to do something else that makes me completely happy.
Having a normal life. It's a really what's the word I'm trying to think of? What's the word I'm trying to think? It's really tempting. There it is. It's really tempting, man. Just having a stable job, but that's not what I want to do right now. Maybe in 5-10 years that will
Yeah,
change.
for sure.
But right now, no. And that's why I see the reasoning for most college players not playing pro. Because most of them could, especially in the US, if you're D1, D2, you can easily play pro.
Yeah,
You're definitely, but most of the time, especially in the US, you'll get paid more to have a regular job than to be a
yeah,
footballer.
for sure.
That's just how it is, and so that's the main thing I see, because you're a student athlete. You're not just an athlete, so and the student comes first in the US. So a lot of times, most of your time is going to be spent in the classroom
Yeah,
studying. So a lot of times you just get swept up into all that stuff, and you really
yeah,
your priorities change. Maybe you get a girlfriend. Um, Maybe you like the city you're living in, and you stay there, and that's
yeah.
why I stop playing, especially in the US.
And if I can just touch on that a little bit more, it may have been misunderstood the way I said it to you, but I think what I was trying to get at is, if soccer doesn't make me happy anymore, when I think about it long term, like it doesn't make me happy anymore, that's where I would want to switch it up and see what actually makes me happy. I
Yeah,
would say like it's not. I do see your point. Like it's very tempting to be like, oh, I'm just gonna go get a 9 to 5 job, which isn't bad. It's good if you want it. If it's good if it makes you happy. But yeah, you're right. It is very tempting during the low moments. But where I come from is like doing whatever makes me happy and being the best at it. So
yeah,
maybe in like 5 years, like fuck this. I don't want to be a soccer player. I'll become the greatest basketball coach. So I would just work towards that.
yeah. That's funny, actually.
Yeah.
I just like for me, I could see myself if I didn't play soccer. I don't know what I would do, man. It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Crazy to think about like what that thing would be like.
Because
Because
it takes like 90% of your time.
yeah,
So yeah, how would you replace that?
man, I'd probably just play video games all day,
Become an esports star.
dude. I'll be no, I don't want to say FIFA because that's the same thing.
Like what
But
I was actually thinking about that. I would think it's so much easier to become a video game like star, because there's no pay to play. You just get a computer, you hop on and you play for 6 hours.
dude, I think I'm the best. I think I'm the best FIFA player, bro, that I know.
Oh, okay.
You got PS4?
I got PS5.
Oh my god,
Yeah, so
dude.
can we still play? I don't know.
I don't think so. You're lucky then. But yeah, I don't. I'm just trying to think what that would be because I always thought about that too. Like kids come home from school who don't play sports. They just like I want like what do they do with their time? It's fascinating,
Yeah.
especially like the ones who they don't play sport. They don't I don't know what I don't know what I would do. It's crazy.
I think even in that sense, like taking time off and like relaxing is good. Like playing video games is good as long as you don't use it in a way to escape your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, before quarantine, for a lot of people, it was the opposite. Like during quarantine, they were kind of really lazy. But for me, it was before that, because I was doing online school at the time. So you had all day
Oh
to
yeah.
just do whatever you wanted. So for me, I was just sitting all day playing video games. By video games, I mean Fortnite. I was just playing Fortnite all day and just ruining my day. I'd play Fortnite all day. I'd go to soccer practice for an hour and a half, and then play Fortnite all day. Like imagine if I just trained in the morning. Why did I not train in the morning, bro?
Yeah.
I just played
Yeah.
Fortnite. And then in quarantine, like just something switched in my head, and I just started training for like 4 or 5 hours a day. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that's good.
I really don't know what happened.
Maybe
yeah.
maybe it was a drive to be as good as Maguire.
Yeah, I mean, I saw his nose, and I was just like,
Yeah.
wow, these people are not gonna know what we're talking about, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
All right, well, did you want to add anything?
I want to see if I have a Maguire jersey here real quick.
Oh, let's see it.
Oh, here it is. Come on. Harry Maguire.
Oh wow.
Harry Maguire, if you're watching this, please notice me. I think you're ghosting me right now because you're nervous that you lose in two touch. But yeah, I think I'm. Oh yeah, bro. This is actually totally off the plot. But you know that video I made about tagging Harry Maguire? Did you see that?
Which one?
No. So
You
I
made
said,
several.
and I told people to tag Harry Maguire, and so
Oh,
like
was it like you juggle and then juggling?
yeah,
Oh yeah, I think I saw that.
it had like 400 comments. That he definitely saw it, but he didn't respond.
No way. He ghosted you?
I was pissed, bro.
Damn.
But that's all I wanted to add. Harry Maguire, if you're watching this, I'm not. John Stones is better.
Your what is better?
John Stones is better.
Oh wow. You're really putting the pressure on him now.
Yeah, he's definitely watching this.
Yeah, for sure. Out of like the 40 people that watch the podcast, I think he's one of them.
Yeah. It's crazy that on TikTok, your videos, like, they can be on anyone's For You page.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Just random.
Like I would make TikTok videos, and then when I actually got a good following, I would see like my teammates like, "Oh, yo, I saw you on my For You page today."
This is actually something that might be fun on your TikTok. I would, in my league that I played in this season, at least once every other game, I would be talking to I would be defending a striker or somebody, right winger, and they'd be like, "Yo, do you make TikToks?" I'd be like, "There's no way this is happening right now."
That's crazy.
Like, I love your videos, man. Like in the middle of the game, they're just talking about my TikToks, which is so weird to me. Like, it's weird to me to think that like real people are watching my videos.
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
Watching my videos, and
even like the numbers, like how many followers do you have now?
Now I have like 27,000.
27, like 27,000, 30,000 people decided to follow you and see your content. That's just like crazy.
Numbers on a screen, but like it's real crazy. You're at like what, 50K now?
Nah, hopefully I will. 34 basically.
You're at I thought you were at like 50K.
Nah, not yet.
But still,
I think TikTok hates me now. They just keep putting my videos down.
Dude, yeah. Are you on the creator fund?
Nah, there's no creator fund in Canada, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a scam anyway.
Is it? Were you on it?
I was on it. So I went on it for 3 days. And then so the 3 days that I was on it, I was averaging like 1,000 views a video when normally I'd say I probably average like 10 to 15,000. And then like as soon as I went off it, so like I was on it, my views were really high. I went on it for 3 days, it went down, and then I went back.
Wow.
Goes back up. And
Yeah.
then there's so many videos on it about it, but yeah, it's a scam.
Is it actually like even that profitable?
It's 3 cents per 1,000 views. So unless you're like Noah Beck or something like that, where you get hundreds
Yeah,
of
that's
thousands,
understandable.
you're not. The best way to make money on TikTok is just to build a brand or whatever you like to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
So
But yeah,
I think that's it. We covered everything. We did everything. We talked about pretty much everything. Anything you want to add?
no, I mean I called out Harry Maguire and
Yeah, I mean, that's a cherry on top. Can't do better than that.
yeah. Greg Berhalter, if you're watching this, need a center back. I'm here. I'm left-footed, 6'2".
Oh, are you left-footed too?
Yeah,
Dude, I'm left-footed and I'm 6'2".
really?
Yeah.
Gotta play center back then.
Yeah, I do play center back. But I like fullback more because I want to be more involved in the attack.
Did you always play fullback?
No, I played center back with my old team. And then here's the thing, I always used to just practice dribbling when I was a little kid because I just didn't know anything else to do, which isn't good. But so my dribbling has always been pretty good for center back, I would say. So then my coach from this team saw that and I just moved to the left back because I could just go up the field and do some 1v1 plays and cross it in.
Yeah, what about growing up? Where'd you play? Center back?
Center back, yeah, just center back.
Wow.
I did have like one season as like a striker, but it was like when I was 10 years old.
I always find that interesting too. Like players most of the time. So you're a weird case for me because most of the time players will like move around like crazy. Like for me, I played striker until I was 14.
Yeah. You know what it is? I always liked playing center back. Like I see a lot of people that really hate playing center back as a kid, but I kind of liked it, just defending the ball.
Yeah, I think as a kid too, part of it was just scoring goals.
Yeah, I just want to be a star.
You just get all the credit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that age, you can just dribble through everyone. Like I played at one point, and my coach would just tell me to play in goal because I was the only one who could like move around basically, get the ball and just dribble the whole field. And these parents would call it cheating. And so they'd like report us.
Damn, that's crazy.
But that's it, bro. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, listen, thanks for being on the podcast. I really appreciate it. It was a good talk. We had a lot of good stuff in there. And yeah, that's it. Have a good one, guys.